Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be having a look at a puzzle that, well, has wowed the Sudoku world over the last few days. We have been inundated with recommendations to try this. It's called Stinky Stuffing, and it's by the Cogito. And I can tell you this, that this exists is unbelievable. I mean, you can see that the grid is incredibly sparsely populated. There are some clues outside the grid. These clues do double duty. They're sandwich Sudoku clues and also full rank clues. Do not worry if you don't know what these things are. I will explain fully when we get to reading the instructions. But it is it's totally and utterly bonkers. This can have a unique solution. It's only got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters Germany as well. So apparently it's relatively approachable for a truly remarkable miracle. I can't wait to try this. It really does seem to me to be extraordinary. And anyway, we'll get to having a look at this in a moment or two's time. We shall examine the Stinky Stuffing and hopefully do it justice. But what can I tell you about before we get cracking? I have got some birthdays to do today. I will also just mention we've got 2 things going on Patreon at the moment. The first is our monthly competition, The Labours of Rostam, which the closing date is approaching. The closing date's on the 20th, so a couple of days' time. I'm actually going to be recording, or I hope we'll be recording, a video with last month's competition winner, Emily. Later on this afternoon. It's now 1:30, and at 4 p.m. Emily and I are going to do battle with a puzzle that Mark has selected for us, and we're going to record that, and hopefully that will appear as a video in due course. But that's the prize. You can see where were we? We're at 1,800 and nearly 800 solvers of the. So look at this. We're closing in on 2,000 solvers of the first puzzle. And 900, basically, of our patrons have solved all the puzzles. That is absolutely phenomenal. Well done to everybody who's managed to get through all the puzzles. You've still got time, actually. Even if you haven't started, you could easily get these 7 puzzles done in time for the closing date. So do check it out. It's over on Patreon right now. Lots of you like it, and that's great. Now, the other thing that's going to be on Patreon very soon is a series of videos in which I am doing battle with the listener crossword from last week. It's called Listen by Eck. So if you like cryptic crosswords, if you like watching me struggle to solve puzzles, I really think some of you might enjoy that series. So far there are 5 episodes. I better not reveal more than that, but we can't release those videos until the closing date happens, which is in a few days' time. But then there will be a whole suite of videos in which I do battle with what is apparently the most astonishing listener crossword for many years. So that's going to be over on Patreon very soon. Now, let's do birthdays. Now, I have to confess, actually, I'm a bit late with... Well, I'm late with some of these birthdays through no fault of my own. I am late with others because I did actually have to pre-record yesterday's video. I had a weekend at Rye, that incredible golf course down on the south coast. And, meeting old friends, making new friends. Absolutely wonderful it was. And partaking in a black tie dinner which featured a bottle of wine, the name of, well, here I've got a picture of it just to show you. I don't think this picture does it justice, actually, because it looks like it might be a normal bottle of wine until you know that that's a normal sized pint glass. These are normal sized salt and pepper pots, and this bottle of wine does contain 12 normal bottles of wine, and it's called a Salmanazar. I had never seen one before, but the whole of the Salmanazar got consumed, and I think maybe a little bit more besides. But there weren't, it was a large black tie dinner. It wasn't just 2 of us or something. So Anyway, thanks to Matt Webster for supplying that incredible creature. Now, anyway, so these are the birthdays for today. Let's do these. We'll have we'll say happy birthday to Rebecca. Rebecca, I think you turned 21 yesterday over there in Denmark. I know this because your boyfriend Daniel wrote to me today to tell me about this, so I couldn't do the shout out yesterday, even if I hadn't pre-recorded yesterday's video. But Rebecca, apparently you watch every day, so thank you for doing that, and I hope you had a great day yesterday with, of course, chocolate cake. Next, Annabelle, this is for yesterday as well, and I think this isn't my fault either. You turned the big 3-0 yesterday, and I know this because your younger sister Rachel wrote to us and told us that you like cheese and the Disney film Hercules, which it struck me as strange things to tell me about. I wondered if it was things that ended in, that's the sort of ease word, cheese and Hercules, but I don't know. But anyway, Annabelle, I hope you had a great birthday. I hope there was chocolate cake, which doesn't have ease at the end of it. Maybe chocolate cakeys, or brownies, perhaps. Oh, perhaps that would be great. Right, next. Oh, I'm even later with this one. This was for Saturday. Aaron, or Aaron, I never know which. It could be either, I think. But your wife Lacey wrote to us. I think you're over there in Tennessee, and apparently you watch with your pets and your new baby human. So many congratulations to the two of you. And Aaron, actually I'll go Aaron this time. Many happy returns. Next, I'm also late with this one. Now, this one is my fault because we were appraised of this in time had I not pre-recorded yesterday's video. But Panagiotta over there in, is it Messinia in Greece? Your son Alexandros wrote to us and told us it was your 65th birthday. So Panagiotta, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you had a brilliant day yesterday. I hope it wasn't too hot. I know some areas down there at the moment are incredibly hot, and I hope there was cake, of course. And then finally, somebody who I gather was cooking a cake and intending the icing to be prolific was Rosie. Yesterday you turned 24 over there in Oklahoma City, and you were planning on having a summer camp themed party, which sounds fantastic. We never had summer camp, or at least I never attended summer camp here in the UK. But I've watched American Pie, and I think if that's what happens at summer camp, it does sound like summer camp would be fun. And Rosie, I hope you had a fun birthday yesterday. Many happy returns. Now, that's all the news. Let's get on to this puzzle, which I am very excited to try. These are the rules of Stinky Stuffing by the Cogito. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Digits may not repeat along the indicated diagonal. So that line there has to contain one of each of the digits 1 to 9. So we couldn't put a 2 here, for example, because then there'll be 2 2s on the line, and that's too naughty for words. Numbers outside the grid are simultaneously full rank clues and sandwich clues. A question mark, which I can't click, a question mark can be any number. Full rank. Okay, so this is it's now going to explain what a full rank clue means. Now this is a strange rule. Full rank, a number outside the grid, represents the rank of the number formed by reading the digits in that row or column from that direction, where 1 is the lowest such row or column and 36 is the highest. So what does this mean? What it means is we sort of have to... it's tricky to explain, actually. So, I can't click outside the grid, but every row and every column, let's do the rows first, from reading in normal reading order. So this is a whole series of numbers. The first row constitutes a number, so let's put 1, 2, 3. That could be a number, couldn't it? And this might be 4, 5, 4, I'm ignoring Sudoku here. Well, actually, no, I've messed that up. 7, 8, 9, otherwise Sudoku will go awry. So we're going to have a whole series of numbers down the grid. And then we're going to have, imagine now, we read these numbers backwards. So this would be 987654321. That's another number. This number would be 321987654. That's another number. And then we do the same for the columns. So this column would be a number, whatever it was reading downwards, and then whatever it was reading upwards. Now that's going to give us 36 numbers altogether, because there are 9 Sudoku rows and 9 Sudoku columns, and we are reading each row and column twice effectively. Now what you then do in your brain is you analyze, or you rank those 36 numbers in order low to high. And then the lowest number that you find, we'll call that the rank 1 number, and the highest number we'll call the rank 36 number. And these clues outside the grid, this is telling us that the 24th lowest number, or if you like, this number will be bigger than 23 other numbers, is what that's telling us. This number will be bigger than 25 other numbers, because it is the 26th rank number. But at the same time as these clues also are sandwich Sudoku clues. And you may say, what does that mean? Well, that means in a sandwich Sudoku clue, you identify the 1 and the 9 in this column. Let's say one of them was there and one of them was there. So let's say that's a 1 and that's a 9. And then what this is saying, this 24, is the digits sandwiched between the 1 and the 9 have to sum to 24. So these could be 8, 7, 6, that's 21, and another 3. That would work. That would be a correct sandwich clue for this column. But remember, we simultaneously have to make this work for the full rank clue. So Sandwich Sudoku really, in some ways, was responsible for the growth of the channel, actually. And I think our first app was Sandwich Sudoku, or it was certainly a very early app, because we made a video years ago. I can't even remember. It was probably back in 2018. And it was called something like a Sudoku with only 3 given digits, and it had sandwich Sudoku rules, and it was the first time a Cracking the Cryptic video sort of achieved any level of virality. So it's a rule set that's close to my heart, and it exists in this puzzle. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I suppose... Well, I'm going to talk about some secrets I know about full rank puzzles to start with. Now, forgive me if any of this is completely fatuously obvious to people, but I do think it is worth running through in case you're not. Now, the crucial thing to realise about full rank is that in row 1, somewhere there is a 1. In column 1, somewhere there is a 1. In row 9, somewhere there is a 1, and in column 9, somewhere there is a 1. Now, let's imagine that this was the disposition of the 1s. Obviously, the ranks of the numbers that will extend from these 4 1s are the 4 lowest ranked numbers in the full rank panoply, aren't they? So whatever this is, that is, and this is, you can't get lower than a number that begins with a 1. So the ranks 1 to 4, rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4 are going to be associated with the 1s. Now, bear in mind, it can get a bit complicated, because imagine that was a 1 and that was a 1. Well, then you're going to have a number this way and a number that way, and a number this way and a number that way. So although there are only 2 1s in the perimeter, they still perform the role of taking the first 4 ranks of the puzzle. So ranks 1 to 4 will be associated with the number 1, or start with the number 1. Then ranks 5, 6, 7, 8 will start with the number 2, because again there must be 2s There must be a 2 in this row. There must be a 2 in this column. There must be a 2 in this row. There must be a 2 in this column. So the 2's are going to take the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8. So we should, I think, be able to deduce this number, which is, it's 6 times 4, isn't it? Because there's 4 ranks associated with each number. So 24, I think, is associated with 6 on the basis that 2 is associated with 8. 2 times 4 equals 8. 6 times 4 equals 24. So I think ranks 24, 23, 22 and 21 all start with the number 6. So I think we can write 6 in here. And then ranks 28, 27, 26 and 25 must start with a 7 by that logic. So we actually get 2 digits from that. I mean, this is lunacy. How can this possibly... I mean, just even getting that digit, or these 2 digits, is... You know, it feels like a deduction that we've had to do. But how... I suppose we know that the 24th rank, so this is bigger than this number, don't we? Because that number is the 24th rank, so it's a higher number than the 23rd rank. But then whatever this is, the 25th rank number, which is going vertically there, is axiomatically greater than this number because it begins with a bigger number. So you're not learning anything, really. It doesn't feel remotely possible that this has a unique solution. Right, hang on. I haven't thought about the sandwich clues very much. But, okay, let's think about maximum and minimum from a sandwich Sudoku point of view. So the minimum sandwich Sudoku clue is 0. Obviously, the question marks can't be 0 here because that wouldn't represent a full rank clue. The question marks must represent a number between 1 and 36, although 1 and 36 are actually impossible because they can't be sandwich clues. And that's because the question mark clues represent a number that can be sandwiched between a 1 and a 9. You obviously can never sandwich just a 1 between a 1 and a 9 because you'll break Sudoku. There's now 2 1s in row 2. So 1 is never a valid sandwich clue, and 36 is never a valid sandwich clue for a secret reason. Something I share with only my very favourite people. But if you're watching this puzzle, you're definitely one of my favourite people. And I will therefore share the secret of Sudoku with you. The secret of Sudoku is that a complete row of the Sudoku, because of the rules of Sudoku, contains the digits 1 to 9 once each. And if you add the digits 1 to 9, you get 45. So we know a row of a Sudoku adds to 45. So imagine that we put the 1 and the 9 in the extremes of the row. Then we would have the biggest possible sandwich, the most delicious sandwich, wouldn't we? Which had maximum contents. 1 and 9 add up to 10, so the maximum sandwich content is 45 minus 10, which is 35. 35 is less than 36. So the question mark clues they are a number between 2 and 35 inclusive. But I wonder if what we're meant to do is to try and pinpoint. I mean, a strategy for sandwich Sudoku, which is a good strategy, is to try and pinpoint 1s and 9s. So one thing I do notice is that each of these clues is at least 22. And therefore, I think what we can do straight away is to mark these cells as not able to be 1s and 9s. And the reason I know that, in fact, we can go a bit further than that, but yeah, the reason I know these cells is forget about the 6 for a moment, and let's try and put the 1s. If this was a 1 or a 9, and we had a 24 sandwich, could this be a 1 or a 9? And the answer is no, because the maximum a 3-cell sandwich could ever contain is 6, 7 and 8. And 6, 7 and 8 only add up to 21. So whenever you get a sandwich clue that is greater than 21, you know that this middle cell of a row or column can't be a 1 or a 9, because you couldn't fit a sufficiently sized sandwich into that row or column. But actually, if we mark these cells as green, we can go a bit further, because if this is a 1 or a 9 in row 1, then we know that the sandwich must be at least 4 cells, mustn't it? Because 3 cells can't even add up to 21 here. So I don't think this cell can be green, so it can be 1 or 9 for the same reason. Because we'd have to have a 4-cell sandwich going this way, but that cell can't be a 1 or a 9. So that's got to be green. Ditto here in this column, this cell's got to be green. Otherwise we can't fit the 1s and the 9s in. In this row, this cell's got to be green. And in this column, this cell's got to be green. Which is okay, so I suppose in column 1 there must be a 1 or a 9 here, mustn't there? Because you obviously can't have a 1 and a 9 in those two and then claim the sandwiches. You can put 24 into that cell. So there must be a 1 or a 9 there, and in row 9 there must be a 1 or a 9 in one of those. Now the problem is that this corner cell could be a 1 or a 9. The same is true here, look. We've got to have a 1 or a 9 here and a 1 or a 9 here, or this cell is doing the duty for both row 1 and column 9. Yeah, I'm not sure about this actually. What are the 23, 33, 12s? 12 minus 6 is 6. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe a better way of thinking about it is to think about the the outies. We always worry about nomenclature in some of these puzzles, but like we've already had words like Salmanazar, so I think we can do outies, can't we? What do I mean by outies? I mean the stuff that's no part of the sandwich. So if you imagine the crusts of the sandwich in row 1, they are the 1 and the 9, wherever they live. Then you've got the filling of the sandwich, which we know sums to 23. And then you've got the stuff that's outside the sandwich. And we know that in row 1 sums to 12, I think, and includes the digit 6. And the reason we know that, obviously, is let's put the 1 there and let's put the 9 there. That's silly. That doesn't ever work. So let's put it there. These add up to 10. The sandwich sums up to 23, so that's 33, which means these 3 cells sum up to 12, one of which is a 6. So we actually, this is very interesting, because we actually now know that in row 1 there is a 2 and a 4 that are outside the sandwich. Why, you might say? How do you know it's 2 and 4? Well, I know that it's some number of digits that sum to 6 that are outside the sandwich, because we know that the total of the cells that are outside the sandwich add to 12. But we've already got 6 there. So any number of the other digits sum to 6. Well, they can't be 1, 5. That would put 2 1s in the row. And they can't be 6 itself, because that would put 2 6s in the row. So it must be another way of making 6, and the only other way that's going to work is a 2 and a 4. Now, so maybe, so is it something to do with the ranking? This, if this was a 2 or a 4, this would, oh no, that's simple. That's very fine, isn't it? So that would be a tiny number, and then this would have to just be greater than that number. But if that's a tiny number, that's incredibly easy for that to happen. That can't be a 9, but it could be a 1, I think. It can't be a 9 because then this couldn't be bigger. This number down here couldn't be bigger, yet would need to be. And in this column, presumably the maths is just one different, isn't it? I mean, we might have to try the biggest number, but let's just check. So going down here, we've got a sandwich of 10, the sandwich filling of 24, so that's 34. So we've got 11 outside the sandwich, of which we've got this digit, which is a 6. So we've got digits, other digits in this column that sum to 5. But that could be, oh, it couldn't be 1, 4, because that would put 2 1s in the column. It could be 2, 3, or a single 5 in this column. And then in this column, we've got 25 plus 10 is 35. Ah, that's it. Right, this is where we're meant to look. I'm actually just going to check this one as well. Let me just think about this one. 36 minus... Well, I think I can probably do something with that one, but I can see something I can definitely do with this one. Let's look at column 9. We've got a 7 here, outside the sandwich. And we've got 25 somewhere in the column that's inside the sandwich, plus the crusts of the sandwich, 1 and 9, they add up to 10. So that's 35 of digits that are consumed by the sandwich. So we need 10 of digits, 10's worth of digits that are nothing to do with the sandwich. Well, we've got a 7 here. So we need 3 more without using the digit 1. So in this column, there is a 3 that is either there or there. But it can't be here. Because remember in row 1, what we said the digits outside the sandwich were 2 and 4. They were not 3. I mean, let's put a 3 in the corner. It's not going to make... We can't sing for that because it's definitely wrong. But let's just recapitulate the logic in row 1. If this was a 3, we know we've got a 1 and a 9 somewhere. 10. Plus the 23 in the middle, 33. Plus another 9 for the 3 and the 6, 42. So what's this digit going to be? It's going to be another 3, isn't it? That's not going to work. So this is not 3, this is 3, is what we've just learned, and this is great, because now that's got to be a 1 or a 9, and that, oh, so the corner is a 1 or a 9 up here. Okay, so these are not anything anymore. This is all sandwich. So these are 1s and 9s. Oh, and we know, yes, and this is lovely, because we know that the corner cell is a 1 or a 9, and we've worked out the outies in this row are 2 and 4. We know where they go. So that's 2 and 4. This is 1 or 9. These are green. And hopefully the maths of this all stacks up. We've got 12 plus 10, 22, plus the sandwich filling 23. In this column we've got 10, 20, plus the sandwich filling 25, 45. Now, yeah, so that doesn't put any pressure on this digit, does it? This just has to be not a 1, basically. Okay, let's try and do this row again. So this row, I think we need 9 outside the sandwich, of which we've already got 7. So there is a 2 here or a 2 here. If the 2 is there, that won't work. Because if this is a 2, let me just put it in and show you. The rank of this number, which begins 72 something, is definitely a smaller number than this number, which begins 73 something, yet it's meant to be the other way round. This is the 25th number. This is a bigger number. It's the 26th number. So that is not a 2. This is absolutely it's lunacy. Now we probably can do something in that column, but much better. Now we know where the 1s and 9s are going. In the bottom row, they have to go there. These cells have to be all green. Now, what's going on in this column? We needed digits that sum to 5, didn't we? And we've got a 2 now. So either, well, that can't be, this is so clever. Look, that can't be 3, because there's a 3 there. So it's simply impossible that this is the other green cell outside the sandwich in the column. So that's got to be it. And that, I see what that's doing. This is absolutely ridiculous how this is unfolding. That's now green. This is green. These are 1 and 9. But look, this is a 3. And look, this number reading down, 6-3 is how it starts. This has to be higher than this number reading across, because this is only ranked 23. So this is 2, this is 4. 3 on the diagonal is in one of these 2 cells. Now actually, hang on, we've got to be a bit careful here. The number from here reading upwards begins 7-3, and the number from here reading horizontally has to be higher. So it can't begin 7-1, that's got to be 7-9, I think. I know what we're going to have to do. This is a 1, this is a 9, this is a 1. Look at this number. This is an interesting number. It is. It's the sort of number I would love to discuss at parties, and that's why no one ever talks to me at them. But look, this is a really interesting number. Because look, this is the 26th rank number that begins 7-9. So let me ask you the question. If in the puzzle, and there must be in the puzzle, a 27th and a 28th ranked number, which, remember, the numbers 20, 25, 26, 27, 28 all begin with 7. So the number 27 and number 28 number have to begin 7-9 in order to be greater than this number. And that means that means that the 7 in row 1 has to be in one of those cells, doesn't it? Because if it was in one of these, they'd have to have a 9 beneath it. The only 7s in the perimeter, there's a 7 in row 1 we've not identified, and a 7 in column 1. So the 7 in column 1's got to be in one of those with a 9 next to it. The 7 in here is there with a 9 next to it. There's a 9 in one of these cells, which is not there. So there's a 9 on the diagonal here. This is quite simply genius setting. It is lunacy. No, oh no, that doesn't work. 1 is in one of those, but we don't know the rank for this column. 9 is in one of those. Where's 1 on the negative diagonal? It's got to be there somewhere. It's now actually got to be here. It's not in those 2 cells, and it can't be there by Sudoku. I mean, it's outrageous being made to do Sudoku in a Sudoku puzzle, but the Cogito has forced us to do it. Now, there are 4 1s looking at box 8, I think. I think that has to be a 1. That's not a 1. Let's just double click the 1s and see if we... Oh, I see. So we get a 1 in one of those. A 1 in one of those, I think. And 9s. We've got a 9 in one of these. And this all came from considering this clue, didn't it? I still don't see how this solves. I mean, hang on. So what else? Oh, okay. Yeah, there is a secondary point, isn't there, from thinking about the 7. Thinking about this trick with 7s, can we do the same with the 6 here? So the 6, the biggest 6 number in the puzzle is this number, which begins 6-3. Then we've got a number that's 6-2-4. So ranks 22 and 21, which have to appear in this column and this row. So wherever the 6 is in this column and the 6 is in this row, the number that's next to the 6 has to be a 1 or a 2, because it's got to be smaller than this number. And that's totally useless. Okay, that's probably not what we're meant to do next then. I don't know what to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 into those cells. That's not a 7 by the diagonal. 4, 5, 8 into these cells. Oh, okay. Is it the question mark clues then? How does 3 work? So 3... Yeah, if we think about clues that start with a 3 from a full rank perspective, they are going to be numbers 9, 10, 11 and 12, aren't they? Which means that the sandwich... okay. So the sandwich clue for this and for this, which both begin with 3, is going to be quite small. The biggest it could be would be... No, it can't be 9. This one can't be 9, because I've got a 3-cell sandwich here. In fact, let's just make sure that we keep track of our 1s and 9s. Those have to be green, because the one's up here. This has to be green. So there's 1 9 in its box. That's got to be green, because the 9's apparently over here. How do I know that? Oh, I know that because it's got to be... Oh, yeah, it's got to be next to the 7. That seems to have to be green. It can't... I've pencil marked my 1s and 9s. Yes, but let's come back and think about this. So, this is a 3-cell sandwich. The absolute minimum is if it's 2, 4, 5. That's the smallest digits I could put in there. And that if they were 2, 4 and 5, they add up to 11. But this can't. This string of digits here can't add up to more than 12, or this ranking would be wrong. So this is either 2, 4, 5 or 2, 4, 6, and it always contains a 2, and I know where the 2 goes. Good grief. It always contains a 4. I know where the 4 goes. So this digit is 5 or 6, and this either adds up to 11 or 12. And that 4 on the negative diagonal is placed. 7 in row 8 is placed by Sudoku, and this digit is 5, 6 or 8. And now, so this is 11 or 12. And this one is something else. I don't know. It depends. The ordering depends on the ordering of those, doesn't it? If that's 5. Oh no, that's just ridiculous. That's a ridiculous point. Right, that's not 5. If you can't see that immediately, it's worth pausing the video and just working it through yourselves, because you'll just be like, how has the Cogito done that? It's so clever. If this is 5, this is 6, which makes the sandwich here have a total of 12, which means that this 3 clue is the biggest ranking 3 clue, and it begins 3-5. But this clue now begins 3-8. So it's definitely bigger, and yet, which means that it should have a total of bigger than this one. But this has already taken the biggest total you can have for a clue that starts with 3, which is 12. So you can't do it. So this is 8. This is 5. This is not 8. So the diagonal's done. Now, well, no, we don't know, do we? It's going to depend on what this digit is. Because, well, this is either 11 or 12, so it's either the biggest or the next biggest 3 ranker. And this is clearly lower. So the maximum size of the sandwich in this row is 11. And that's only achievable if that is 12. So, oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, so what we have to do now is to say, yeah. Okay, where are the 1s and 9s in row 2? Because we now actually know where they go. Because, let me explain, remember a rank 3 clue is dealing with the ranks 9, 10, 11 and 12. Could you have a single cell sandwich with any of those totals? No, because if you went for a 1 and a 9 there, and this digit would have to be at least a 9, and that will repeat 9. Or it's going to have to be a single 10 in that cell. That's a nonsense. So we know that the sandwich in this row is at least 2 cells large, and it must be 2 cells large, because if it's only possible to include a sandwich of 2. So those are the 1s and the 9s. This is the 9. This is the 1. These are nothing. These are not 1 anymore. This is not... Oh, look, these are all green now. And we can take the 9s out. These are all green. Pregnant pause while I try and work out if this is even better than that. It might well be. I think we need to think about this domino. But let me just mull that over for a moment. 2 by Sudoku goes here. So this is 5 or 6. 2 by Sudoku is in one of those cells. One of these 2 cells. I wonder if it can be there. I'm not sure. So, okay, so let's work on this domino. We know if that's a 6, which is the most it could be, the maximum size of this is 11 and the minimum size is 9. So this is 11, 10 or 9 bobbins. So that could be a 2, couldn't it? No, hang on. I've got something else though. My 7 up here was meant to be next to a 9, so I get that digit, definitely. From our logic around this earlier on. So, oh, nearly. So 7 is nearly placed in the middle box. What are those 3 digits then? 3, 5, 8. Oh, nearly. It's nearly good. That can't be an 8. And... okay. I don't know what that means. How... Even though I think we've made okay progress, it still doesn't... I think, and I might be wrong about this, I feel like I've used up all of my full rank clues now. I mean, could it be Sudoku? I mean, of course it could be, but it doesn't sort of feel like there's an absolute plethora of Sudoku to do. I think maybe there's a way we know whether this is... If this was 11, if that was a 5, then this would have to add up to 10 or 9 then. But that doesn't look very difficult. Wow. I mean, it is phenomenal, isn't it, that this has a unique solution from here. What have we not used? I saw that I had some 7-9 logic. I used it there. I've still got to put a 7-9 in one of those. But we don't know anything about those rows. And I saw that I had a 6. Okay, 6-3 was the biggest. Oh, yeah, the 6s. The other 6s in the perimeter have to begin with 1 or 2. That's good. That is great, actually. That is great. Look at the bottom row. Where's the 6? Now, let's just hypothesize for a moment. We tried to put the 6 here. We couldn't possibly do that, because that would mean that there would be a 6-7 number going vertically, and that would definitely be bigger than this number. And it's not meant to be, it's got to be less than this number, so the 6 must be in one of those squares. Which means that's 6, it means that's 5, it means this is 5. Right, that's good. That's good. That's not 5 anymore by Sudoku. I almost wonder, actually what I might do is just try and label these, if you don't mind. I'm just going to use sort of lines to try and keep track. Okay, so I've not put a 6 into this column. Yes, where's the 6 in column 9 is a great, great question. Because it must have a 1 or a 2 on its left side in order to have the proper proportions. And I can't put a 2 on its left side, because that can't be a 6. So I must put a 1 on its left side, and that's a 6. I thought that was going to... Okay. Oh dear. So that nearly did things, but then didn't. Okay, what are those digits then? 248. No, 2458. 2458. That's not 2. Maybe that's more restricted now. Yeah, that's probably true, isn't it? Because we've now got an 11 total down here for the number beginning 38. So this total, which is the number beginning 35, either sums to 10 or 9. So it must have a 2 in it. It must do. But do I know? I want to say that's the 2, but is it possible that's the 2? Oh, bother, I don't know. So hang on, we're adding up to... Because if it didn't have 2 in it, it would be at least 4 and 7, which is 11, which is an impossible total now. So it does have 2 in it. And it's either adding up to... So it's either 2, 7 or it's 2, 8. So that, look, is a 2, 7, 8 triple. And I can place 4 in the row. This is truly peculiar, but that seems to be logical. Okay. And that's going to be jolly important for the following reason. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I knew that that was 6-1, didn't I? But I... 6... Right, here's a different point then. Let's try and keep going with sixes. I've got a number in the top row here that begins 624. And I know that that's rank 23. So if I was to put the 6 here in column 6, this number would begin 6, 2, this would be a 5, I think, at least, or bigger, 625, and that's definitely bigger than this number, which is 624, yet it can't be bigger because this is the 23 rank digit, and that's the 24th rank digit, which begins 61. So this is not 6, this is 6. And that means that is not 6. But the problem with that is I don't think it teaches me very much, does it? What do we have to put into column 5? 3, 4, 5, 8. And we can't put 3 into either of those cells. And we can't put 4 into that cell. And we can't put 4 into that cell. So there is a 4 in one of those two cells. So let's just mark that off in case that becomes important. And somehow or other, this is going to help me. 4 in the bottom row I can place. That's there. So these squares are 3. We can do the bottom row. That's 3, that's 8. So this is not 8. And these squares are a 3, 5, 9 triple, which means these squares are 6, 7, 8, which is potentially interesting. Look. Or not. What do we say this was? This was 2 and either 7 or 8, depending on what this is. I keep saying this at every... Oh, hang on. Remember here, there was a 7, wasn't there, next to a 9. So that has to be an 8, actually. So I actually know what these 3 digits are. They are 4, 5, and 7. I mean, we know almost nothing about these 3 rows, though. Have I not understood something about the puzzle? I suspect that's what I've not understood. I've missed something quite critical here, I think, because I don't understand what I can possibly do. I know that 25, 26. Oh, I know something. Oh, this is ridiculous. Right, okay. I'd missed a point here. I mean, how can this possibly matter? And yet it does, doesn't it? Okay, we know this is the 26th ranked digit. It begins 7, 9, and I think we're going to have to think about the 3rd digit as well. 7, 9, 5. Now, this one begins 7, 9, something. This must be at least a 5 then, because it's got to be bigger than this one. Now, if this was 5, this would have to be 8, I think. Because it's got to be bigger than this, which is 7, 9, 5, 4. And the same is going to be true across here. Wherever the 7, 9 goes, the next digit is going to have to be at least a 5, and couldn't be a 5, so it's going to be 7, 9, and then at least a 6. In fact, or 798. It's either going to be 796 or 798. Okay, well that's something. Now, I don't think we can do the same sort of trick with the 6s, because we've got a 6-2 number, but these are both 6-1 numbers. So I don't think we have the same... but where's 3 in column 5 now? We actually get that, which is a small win for the goodies. Okay. And that might matter. I know one of these is a 2, don't I? This is an extraordinary puzzle. It is extraordinary that this... I mean, I'm sure it does solve. It just, even now, even after everything we've done, it doesn't feel like it possibly should. Okay, but that's all very well, but I still have to find a way to solve it. So I know one of these strings begins at least 7, 9. So if this is 5, does that matter? The answer is, I haven't got a clue. Are there any other ranks in the puzzle that we know anything about? I think the answer is no. We know a little bit about 6s, which I've tried to use. I really have. We know a little bit about 7s. Again, I know 7, 9, 5, 4, 6 has to be beaten. Oh, okay. So, yeah, okay, let's look at this one again then. 7, 9. If this was 5, this would have to be 8, wouldn't it? There has to be an 8 in one of those two, I think. Because otherwise this will go 7, 9, 5, 4, 2, and it won't be as big as that number, and yet it must beat it. So there is an 8 in one of those, and I think either does the job. So this comes down to being 4 or 5. Does that help us? Don't know. Oh, I tell you what I might be able to do, you know. Yeah, here's a really tiny point. Ooh. Does that matter? It can't possibly, can it? I'm just thinking about whether I can do more with the 3s, actually. Oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's this is a contender definitely for Puzzle of the Year. This is it. The amount of information you can extract from these clues is simply and utterly ludicrous. Let's look at this clue. Now, we know that's rank 11, which means that there is a 12th rank. There is a higher ranking clue than a 3-8 clue. Or a 3... No, let me be more precise. 3, 8, 6, 7. There is something higher than that in the 3s. Where? Because that's a 3-5 clue. That's a 3-5 clue. So this clue up here, it's not that one. I see. The simple point is that this cannot be a 3, because that would be a 3-1 clue, and there is no 3 clue bigger than this, and yet there must be by the rankings. So this is 5. This is not 5. This is not 5. And the 3... Yes, so there must be an 8. Oh, this is it. This is it. So below this clue, which is a 3 clue, there has to be a digit at least as high as 8. So it is 8. It's not 7 here. And now this is a 7, and that is an 8, and that is a 7, and that's a 6. And now, I don't know. These squares here are 3, 6, 9. And these squares here are 1, 2, 8. But we can get rid of 2, we can get rid of 1. And, okay, now can we do better than that? Perhaps. Because remember, the third digit in this 3 clue is at least a 6. So the digit that comes in one of these has got to be at least a 6. Here it would have to be 6, because this can't be 7, 8 or 9 by Sudoku. So this would have to go 3, 8, 6. 9, I think. 3, 8, 6, 9. Don't know if that's possible or not. And here we'd have to go 3, 8, 7, which actually looks quite nice, doesn't it? I think this can be a 7. There is a 7, in fact, in one of those 2 cells. And that would definitely beat this. Okay. So, how do we know which of those is possible? I don't know. And over here, somewhere, we've got 7... What is it? It's got to beat this. 7... We've got to beat 7, 9... Ah, so in this row, wherever it is, we can't have a 1 or a 2 in the third position. It's going to be 7, 9, 8. And that will beat this one, and that's going to be fine. Wow, okay. Oh, hang on. This is an X-wing on 8s. If this is an 8, that's an 8. If this is an 8, that's an 8. So that can't be an 8. There's definitely an 8 in this domino. This can't be 3 and 2. We know that from the logic that we've got down here. So this is 5. And that's 4, and that's 8. So this isn't 4. That's not 8. That's good. That's going to do something. I'll show you in a second what I think that's going to do. What this not being able to be 8 does is it takes 7, 9 out of this option. Because remember, in the third position here, we've got to have, if this was 7, it's going to go 7, 9, 8. And that's going to be fine. Yeah. Okay, so do we get any more bonuses as a result of this? Maybe. That can't be an 8 by Sudoku. I know there's an 8 in one of those. I know there's an 8 here, so I know there's an 8 in one of these. Okay. That's good, but I don't think it's enough. Possibly. There's a 4 in one of the... I think we already sort of knew that by Sudoku. That 4 means that's... Oh, that's good. By Sudoku, this has become a 7. I'm just going to think about that for a moment. Why have I not got 5 in this cell? This is 4, 5, 7. I seem to have got... I don't know. I don't see a rational reason for that. I'm a bit skeptical about that. I wonder if what I did earlier is I might have put 4 in here and tried to take 4 out of here and misclicked and taken 5 out of it. Why have I got? Oh, no, this one really can't be 7, because that would have to go 7, 9, 8, and it can't. But this one, if there was no 5 in here, this would have to be a 7, and it would go 7, 9, 8. And this would be a 7. The thing is, it's difficult. It's hard to know. It's hard to know if that is intended or not. And down here, what have we got? We've got 8. No, how does this work? I've forgotten that. 3, 8. Oh yeah, 3, 8. And then something large is what we need, don't we? 3, 8. If it was here, it goes 3, 8, 6. 3, 8, 6. We can't have 7 there, actually. Yeah, it would have to go 3, 8, 6, 9. 3, 8, 6, 9. Is that possible? I don't know. I think it probably is. 2, 3. These are 2. Oh, this. Oh, that's a naked single. This one, I think. If we look at this box, 2, 3, 6, 8, not placed. That seems to have to be a 6. So that's not 6. Does that? It might do something. This is now 2, 3, or 8. Oh, that's great. That does it. Okay. This not being able to be 6 now means this cannot begin 3, 8, 6, which is what I needed it to begin. So this is not 3, 8, 6, this is 3, 8, 6. So it goes 3, 8, and then this digit has to be a 7, because it's got to beat this total. So that's not 7 anymore. This is 8, this is 2, this is 3. This is a 2, 4 pair, apparently. And how can this 5, 9 not be resolved? These squares are 5, 6, and 9. These squares are 1, 2, and 9. Oh, this is a 2, actually. Look, the 2 here is helpful. So this isn't 2, this isn't 2. 4, 5, 8, and then 3, 6, 9. Oh, no, hang on, careful. 3, 6, 7 into these squares. That's not 3. And we know one of the, either that one is 7, 9, 8. Oh, here's a small point. Where are 1 and 2 in row 4? I think that cell is going to have to be one of them, because none of the other cells seem to have that as an option. So that is not 9. This is a 1, 2 pair. There's a, oh look, there's a 4, 5 pair in row 4. I hadn't seen that, so that can't be a 5. As Maverick flies over, this square has to be a 6. This square has to be 9. This square has to be 7. This square's not 9 anymore. And oh, I'm sure this is solvable now. Come on. These, oh, where's 6 in the middle box? It's got to go there. So that's 6, that's 3. That's 3, there we go. That's 3, that's 9. We know 9 goes next to 7 and then follows up with 8. 2, 1, 2, 9, 1. Oh, 8 must go here now. 7 must go here. 5, 4, 5, 4. 9, 5. Something. 5, possibly. It looks like it's worked, doesn't it? That is absolutely extraordinary. I didn't find it desperately easy, if I'm honest. What was it? 3 stars. I think if you're good at full rank puzzles, and I do one every 6 months probably, you probably can find your way through that more quickly. But I found it very hard to keep track of the fact that I really needed to pay attention in some cases to sort of the 3rd digit in a ranking. And the way that unfolds, how have you even thought that that's possible? Is it correct? Actually, yes, it is correct. How have you even thought that that's possible to make? It's got 1 given digit and 6 clues, 2 of which are question marks, symmetrically disposed around a negative diagonal. And it's the most obscure rule set in the sense that it doesn't feel like it can do that much damage, and yet it does. That's an extraordinary puzzle. It's anything but stinky. It's a genius construction. I hope that many of you can sort of sense what I sense about this. This is a really special one. Very, very, very weird that this exists. And quite stunning. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.